All right, let's look at a bunch of finicky rules for transitioning objects. If you're doing your pros, you definitely will want to know these. If you're doing your associates, not such a big deal, but we should still talk about them. So the first is large objects. So this is where there could be a cost benefit if the file is very large. And so AWS is recommending if you have S3 standard or S3 standard IA, you can move them to intelligent tiering. If it's S3 standard, you can move it to S3 standard IA or one zone IA. You don't have to do this. It's based on you figuring out which use case it makes sense for you, as intelligent tiering has an additional cost for the analysis. And of course, IA means that there's going to be a retrieval fee, so you have to kind of balance that information there. For smaller objects, ones that are 128 kilobytes or less, these transitions are not allowed. So you can't go from standard or standard IA to S3 intelligent tiering or Glacier instant retrieval. There is like a minimum capacity object charge. It's not 168 for Glacier instant retrieval. It's something like 60 kilobytes, but for whatever reason, you cannot make these transitions. It makes more sense for S3 standard to S3 standard IA and one zone IA because standard IA and one zone IA have a minimum capacity charge of 128 kilobytes. So that one kind of lines up. Why isn't it a bit different for the other ones? I don't know, but you have to remember that. Another important thing is that you can filter objects based on object file size so that you're going to make sure that you can have legal transitions and just set those in the filters. Now, when we're talking about minimum days, there are some storage classes that require objects to be in S3 for at least 30 days before you can transition to them. And for that, we're going to have from S3 standard to standard IA. So standard IA wants you to have that if you're transitioning from standard IA or in the intelligent tiering or whatever else. S3 one zone IA is going to want you to have that. But the easy way to remember this is that if it's minimum days, it's IA that expects it to be at least 30 days in your count before you can transition. For a minimum storage charge, these are storage classes that have a minimum charge of 30 days. So it's not a matter of having it in your account. It's just that as soon as you go to these storage classes, you're going to get charged for the full 30 days. Not upfront, but it's going to stay there and you'll get charged over time. So let's say we're in standard IA or one zone IA, and then we're going to, these ones, they have to stay they have to stay in IA for 30 days, right? So let's say you move it 30 days or less, you're going to get charged the full amount, right? So you can't kind of like skirt it and be like, oh, I only had it for 10 days and I'll transition it out. Nope, you're going to get charged for the 30 days, whether you use it or not. So that's kind of important there. And the reason why is just because standard IA and one zone IA have a minimum that you have to hold them there for 30 days. Okay.